Hi, this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore. Well, it's almost Olympic time, so let's start taking a look at what is the Olympic athlete that really looks like they're in great shape. The ones that you're most interested in looking like. Is it the speed walkers, the Olympic weightlifters? For me, it's sprinters. I mean, those guys to me look the healthiest, and that's what I want. If I could look like any Olympic athlete, I'd want to look like an Olympic sprinter. I am never going to look like one, but that's what I would like to emulate. So let's talk about sprinting, how we can utilize that, and why it works, and how it creates a difference. Because sprinting is actually one of the most powerful forces that you can unleash to make yourself as healthy as possible. And this is kind of where you should be shooting for, I hope, if you really want to maximize your health. The reason why I bring this up is because I have been doing it now for really a couple of years. My son, when he moved to Denver, gave me his Schwinn Airdyne bike, and I started utilizing it for sprint training. And what I was doing after talking to some folks is I would do about 10 seconds. I'd warm up for 3 minutes, and then 10 seconds intense, as hard as I could. Utilize, and the nice thing about the Schwinn Airdynes is they had a wattage meter, so I could tell what my level of activity was. And I was doing it as hard as I could for 10 seconds, take a minute 20 off, and I only did that because it was easier to keep track on the timer. And so I would do 10 seconds, minute 20 off, 10 seconds, minute 20 off, 10 seconds, minute 20 off. And about that point, I felt like my head was being held underwater. And I'd keep pushing it as hard as I could until the output that I was doing started to decline. And when I first started off, it was about 3 or 4 rounds, and eventually got it up to about 7 rounds, and that was about the maximum I was doing. Well, then some things happened in my life where I kind of put that off to the side. I wasn't doing it because the Airdyne got put in the corner. And the reason why I think I did that, I made that excuse for myself, was frankly, I didn't like it. I mean, it is an unnatural state to feel like you're being held underwater. It hurts to do sprint training. Fast forward a few months, and I start to notice shirt's getting a little tighter in the middle. Some of these pants ain't fitting the way they used to. And I started looking back, okay, well, have I changed the way I'm eating? What's going on? And I'm doing all the other activities but except for the sprint training. And I'm noticing the body is starting to change. The energy level seems to be going down. So in order to psych myself up to start incorporating sprint again, I started looking up, okay, what does that really do for you? And it turns out that there are a ton of benefits that I was losing out on by not doing sprint training for the last few months. Number one is the improvement in mitochondrial health. I mean, look, I know there's not a blood test where you can do to look at your mitochondrial health, but they have done studies where they've done muscle biopsies and looked at, how good is the mitochondrial effectiveness, and have they improved? And it is possible to check it out, but you don't want to do a muscle biopsy. That's where they need to take a hunk of muscle tissue out of your body, and it hurts. And it's not for the faint of heart. So I'm glad other people have been willing to do it for me. And it's amazing. It will, within 2 weeks, even with untrained athletes, you're going to see an increase in improvement in mitochondrial performance by about 26% in just 2 weeks of doing this. And that's would be basically 4 exercise sessions, doing it with real intensity for just a couple of weeks. You're going to see that type of massive improvement. And what does mitochondrial health do? Well, mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cells. This is what allows you to utilize carbohydrates and fats and ketones to move your body forward. And boy, the more healthy mitochondria you have, the better you're going to perform. So if you want to have lots of energy, and who doesn't, you want healthy mitochondria, they will improve by about 26% in just 2 weeks of doing sprint training. So that's a great incentive to start doing it, even though you can't really test it. You'll notice a vast improvement in overall energy performance. Number 2, again, you can check this. This one you could check if you had the money, etc., but you will improve the amount of human growth hormone in the body, and that is like the fountain of youth. You can't legally purchase much human growth hormone. It's highly regulated type stuff. It's banned in most sports, but you can produce it naturally through doing sprint training. And what's interesting about these two things is you can't really boost them doing things like steady state aerobics. If you run marathons, you're not going to get the boost in human growth hormone. You're not going to get the vast improvement in mitochondrial health that you can with short-term sprint training. You'll also increase the amount of natural testosterone in your body, which is important for both men and women. It is what's going to really, this is where it gets cool. I mean, when you start increasing the amount of testosterone in the body, human growth hormone, your skin's going to get better, wrinkles are going to reduce, your overall tone, the carriage of your body is going to change. You're going to start moving better. It's kind of like a fountain of youth. And one of the things that also improve dramatically are the fast twitch muscles. And you'll notice that's kind of like, oh, duh. Sprinters have great fast twitch muscles because they sprint, right? But when you think about why you want fast twitch muscles, this is the stuff that is a difference between falling and becoming an invalid and being able to hold yourself up straight and to be able to be mobile your entire life. It's that powerful of a thing. And unfortunately, what happens after age 30 is most people start to lose fast twitch muscles as they become more sedentary. And unless you have a program to start growing them, you're going to get weaker over time. And those fast twitch muscles are not just for sprinting, but this is what, when you trip and fall, your legs need to be able to move quickly to be able to stabilize yourself. And you lose enough of those muscles and you're going to become frail, weak, and infirmed and vulnerable to all sorts of different horrible things that you do not want to be happening to you as you age. So you want the fast twitch muscles. The sprinting helps you develop them. Well, how do you get into sprint training? And frankly, it is not where you go, hey, I'm going to jump off the couch and start running up and down my yard as fast as I possibly can. That's not where you start. I mean, the first step with all this stuff is diet. I mean, there's no substitute. There's nothing else you can do that's going to vastly improve your health more than anything else by getting rid of the ultra-processed foods, reducing the carbs, and getting rid of the vegetable oils, sugar and all that other stuff. Once you start doing that and you start improving your diet, you're going to naturally want to become more active, which most of us when we start off is going to be walking and just, moving more. And after a while, and it's going to depend on where you are and just, how far you are down the spectrum. If you're going from, 3 pizzas a night, sitting on the couch watching Netflix, it's going to take you a little while to get up to the point where you can start incorporating the sprint training. But let's say, for instance, you've been pretty active, you've been lifting weights, you've been doing resistance training and stuff like that, and you want to start incorporating the sprint training, then where do you go from there? Well, you can start off by, okay, well, I'm taking a walk. Is there a hill on that route? And if so, okay, I'm going to go up that hill as fast as I can. And you keep working and you do it for 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You take a minute off, 2 minutes off, boom, you do it again until you can't do it as fast as you started. And just keep working that. And over time, you're going to be sprinting up that hill as hard as you can. And again, kind of the benchmark is after 10 to 12 minutes, if you can't do any more, you're probably doing it right. If you've got stuff left in the tank, though, after 10 to 12 minutes, you're not doing it with enough intensity. You've got to do it with enough intensity where you're almost feeling like you're being held underwater. It is a very unnatural state. And it's going to require some work, and it's going to require some intestinal fortitude. You're going to have to challenge yourself to really push it. But once you do it over time, it is not pleasant. But on the plus side, it's only 10 minutes a couple of times a week. And when you do it, in a couple of weeks, you're going to see a mitochondrial improvement on average of about 26%, according to research. You will have been increasing your human growth hormone. You will be increasing the amount of testosterone. You will be increasing the amount of fast twitch muscles in your body. Basically, you will be on your road to improving your health. And it's going to be fascinating how quickly this works. I mean, I've seen some cross sections where they've done deep body scans of people, where they've done cross sections, and people have this, you can tell somebody that has a lot of, when you look at an MRI, you'll see, the dark muscle tissue, and then you see it marbled with layers of white fat. I mean, some people look like Wagyu beef. They may look thin on the outside, but when you look at the MRIs, you can see all that fat that's really deposited in the muscles and around the internal organs. And what's amazing is once you incorporate the sprint training, a lot of that goes away pretty darn quickly. That's the first fat your body is going to give up. And it's the most important fat for your body to give up. That's the stuff that's killing you. So you will start to see improvements in your body composition really darn quickly. It's, again, 2 weeks, 26% increase in the mitochondrial health. Hopefully that will give you some incentive to keep pushing it. It's not, I'm not telling you that this is the easiest darn thing in the world to do. It sucks. I don't like doing it, but I think it's worth it enough that, if you're going to age well and you want to age strong, this is what it's going to take. And a 20-minute investment every week to help keep me stronger for the long haul, I think is worth it. So what about you? Have you been incorporating sprint training into your overall workout? Is it something that you've seen improvement in your gait, your strength, in your life? Let other people know. Put a comment down below saying, yeah, it sucks, but it's worth it. I hope I'm not the only one that's tried it. But if you want to learn more about it, there's guys like Dr. Sean O'Malley and others that will love to talk about the importance of sprint training. There's other resources out there, but I'm just trying to point out that this is where really you're going to see probably your most bang for the buck. And I know it, people think that they're healthy when they do jogging and stuff like that, but you really, and I have nothing against activity, but it isn't going to improve all these other aspects of your life, like just incorporating a little bit of sprint training. And I still walk. I do, Mondays and Thursdays are now the days that I'm going to do the sprint training. Doesn't mean I'm not going for a walk, though. I mean, I still enjoy that, and it's relaxing. It's additional activity, but the sprint training is where I'm doing the exercise to make things happen. I incorporate the resistance training in there, 3 or 4 times a week. Again, why am I doing that? Again, for strong muscles, because what do I want to do? I want to be able to be mobile. I want to have more muscle. I want to have more strength, and I don't want to hurt myself. And that's my goal. If you like this message, please hit the like and subscribe button. Join this tribe. Hopefully we get other people to get this message, to get themselves to be healthy, to get themselves out of the darn medical system. And when you're strong and healthy and powerful, you don't need them. And you don't have to go to them unless it's an emergency. For acute stuff, the American medical system is just fantastic. They can take care of emergencies. But I'm not going to clog them up with chronic diseases that I can fix through lifestyle. I will talk to you again soon.